Sorry, I'm a little later than I wanted to be.
Just got back.
So you're a way better worker outer than I am. You're way better, more versed in it.
Yeah.
Is it better to work out in the morning versus the evening time?
It depends.
Or is that just personal preference? Does it not really matter when you work out?
Personal preference. I usually do it first thing in the morning because my body just feels better all day.
Okay.
Erin has to do it in the afternoon because she's not stretched out enough in the morning to do it.
Gotcha. I just do it whenever I can get around to doing it, I think, to be honest with you.
And that's part of the reason I do it first thing in the morning because there's no kids stuff. Actually, no one's even up when I do it, so makes it a lot easier
That's
for
my
me.
problem. I don't wake up. I'm always the last person to fall asleep and one of the first ones to get up. It's so weird in my lifetime. It's like Jen finally at the age of like 42 decided to become an adult and she wakes up in the morning now instead of like the afternoon. So with her getting up like a normal adult time, it's kind of weird for me to not always be the first one up.
Right.
But I'm just not a morning person that way. I mean, I'm up. I'm always up at like 6:30. You know, maybe not out of bed, but I'm awake. And trying to drag myself to the gym that early, I can't do it. It's not in my DNA.
I had a 7 a.m. dentist appointment, so I was up at 3:30 and at the gym.
Your dentist has appointments at 7 in the morning?
Yep.
Wow. That's incredible.
It makes it so easy, though, for school and stuff, because...
Well, you get it done before you have to drop off or something like that, I guess.
Or they're just barely going to miss any of it, so...
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's just super early because mine is always at 8 o'clock. I'm saying like that's a big deal. 1 hour is a big deal. It's really not. But yeah, I always have mine is always drop the kids off at school, then I'll go do my dentist appointment or But yeah, man.
Yeah.
But it feels good to get back to. I was talking to a buddy of mine about working out, and I said the hardest part of working out or doing something for yourself like that is just forcing yourself to go do it. Once you're there and you're actually doing the workout, it's not that big a deal. It's just not going through the motions and doing something you want to do, as far as something you want to improve on. And while you're there, it's like, I'm already here, might as well be doing it. But just getting into the routine of going and forcing yourself out of the house when you'd rather take a nap or just be lazy, that is the hardest part, in my opinion.
And that's why doing it first thing in the morning makes it easier for me, because my alarm goes off, I lay in bed for a few minutes, and I'm like, fuck, I'm up. I'm just going to go.
Yep. How close is your gym to you?
About 5 minutes.
Okay. See, mine's close enough. I should be jogging to the to the rec. I should go to the rec center, and it's close enough to me to just jog down there. But I don't. I'm so lazy. I drive there, so I get there in a minute instead of probably 5 minutes, right? But yeah.
So, it's about 4 miles. So I could run it when I get back up to that distance, but I don't think I'm going to get back up to that distance. So
yeah, no, and I'm thinking, is elliptical better than the treadmill? You think?
It's supposed to be better for your knees.
Okay. I feel that way because I've been doing treadmill for the most part. I switched over to elliptical tonight, and it felt better doing that. It really did. Way better on the knees, for sure. Yeah. Although, I guess I'll make this point too, just because I'm kind of bouncing all over. It's the other part was where I said it was the hardest part was forcing yourself to go, where he said, no, forcing yourself to go to the gym is not the hard part. The hard part is battling yourself in the kitchen all day long. The kitchen's your biggest enemy.
Yes, it is.
And I was like, damn, that's true too. There's so many ways of trying to get you to not be healthy, and it's just like, oh man.
As I sit here and take a drink of beer.
I'm trying to sit there and what's harder, not eating or forcing myself to go work out? And I was like, ooh, that's hard. That's really hard. Because I have a really bad habit. I like staying up late and eating. I like doing that. As far as when I'm doing my TV watching, that's when I want to eat my dinner and everything. I like eating and watching in peace when everyone's gone to bed kind of thing. That's really bad for you. Very, very bad.
So my workout is usually before breakfast.
Uh-huh.
So when I get home, I have this huge breakfast, and it usually almost holds me till dinner. I have 6 eggs, a waffle, and 3 sausage links every morning.
Oh wow, that's a huge. I don't eat breakfast. That's one funny thing you say that. I try to hold out as long as I can to get to lunch is what I do.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to make up from the night before, saying okay, trying to intermediate fast as much as I can, but at some point I'm about to chew off my own arm. I'm like, I gotta eat something at this point, or else I'm just gonna fade away.
Yeah, fasting is the thing I haven't been able to do. I try on Sunday mornings, so nothing from dinner Saturday night until lunchtime on Sunday.
Ooh, okay.
But Erin can go all day without eating occasionally, as long as she's drinking enough water.
Oh, really? Yeah. See, I need to get back to my waterway as far as, drinking a ton of water, and it's just, I'm so lazy to just go refill, and then I'm all peeing all day. I've told you about that before. Just, it's hard. It's a hard routine to keep a hold of. And it's just hard with social interaction too, when you're doing social things. Whoever, with the school year back up and running, eating's a big part of all of it, Oh, and it's just like, it just kills you.
It's just a big part of our culture because it is. You go on to dinner with people. You go over to somebody's house. There's like snacks. It's always something.
It is. No, you're right. It actually is ingrained in the culture for sure. It's not like we're snacking on healthy stuff. It's like, here, snack on these veggies. No, where's my freaking chips and popcorns and shit like that?
Yeah.
But no, it feels good. It feels good to start lifting again. What I'm learning though is just taking it super easy, not trying to push too hard for the most part.
Yeah,
taking it super slow. Don't want to hurt myself, kind of thing. But I listened to Joe Rogan on a quick reel or something like that, where it's just like the human body it's intended to lift heavy things. You have to lift heavy things to keep yourself healthy. I was like, that just makes sense when you say it in a simplistic way like that.
Yes.
Because you think about everything that we have at the convenience of our fingertips. When you had to go gather your food, well, you'd lift something heavy to bring your food back to your village, or something stupid like that. But it made sense, it makes total sense.
Yeah. So, and doing the right kind of lifting will get your heart rate up there too. Because Erin has complained that her heart rate doesn't get up when she lifts, and I'm like, well, my heart rate's up to 160 when I'm doing the heavy stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think my heart rate was up. I was up at the 143. I think is where I was tonight. Is that low? Is 143 not high enough?
Depends on age. I was looking at it today for me. Yep. My max heart rate should be about 160, 170.
Okay.
But I go past that when I do cardio usually.
Yeah. Okay. See, I don't know. I'm I'm feeling pretty good at that point. I'm like, this is pretty good. 140. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, now I gotta shoot for another 20. You suck.
You work your way up to it.
I know. I got to. Got to take it slow, And the other thing is just longevity. You got to keep at it for a while, and that's going to be the hard part. As always, especially when it starts getting cold again. When it's cold, no one ever wants to go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, sorry, that just to be off topic a little bit, but that's where I was at and what I was doing. Just trying to get healthy, trying to be motivated to, because we were talking about ages of they were making fun of Jen being older than me, and I was like, yep, she's way older, super old, so old, and because I was just saying I think I'll be 44 when Brody graduates from high school is what we're talking about, and then I think said Katie I'll be 46 or 47, I think. And then for M, when she graduates, I think I will be 51 or 52, I think was what it was. 50 I think just around 50. One of those two. I can't remember how old I was supposed to be. I was like, oh my God, no.
So yeah, I'll be 49 when Will graduates.
At least you beat the 50. That's the good part. You're like, yes, not 50-year-old when they graduate. That's the hard part, man.
I think my dad was in his 60s when I graduated. No, not with me.
I think I'll be 50. I think I will be 50 because she's going to be 8 years old right now, and she'll be 18 when she graduates. So yeah. Another 10 years from now, I'll be 50. So be right there, man. I'm telling you. And I don't want to be that decrepit 50-year-old that just looks nasty and all that stuff. I want to be in decent shape.
Not to harass my brother, but that's going to be Mikey when his kids are graduating.
Oh man, because let's see. Oh, wow. He'll be almost 60 when his next one graduates, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big deal, dude. That's a big deal.
There is a good possibility that his unborn child will be graduating on his 60th birthday.
Oh, it makes me laugh so much.
He said he was on my dad's plan.
He really is. He really, really is. He took after him really well there.
Let's see if they have one more.
They have no excuses for not being as well established and struggling when they're after them. No excuses there, dude.
Yeah.
Because what was funny, I was doing a loan today, poor guy was trying to buy the house that he rents, and his mortgage payment would have been lower than his rent. His mortgage would have been less than the rent for the house he wants to buy that he lives in right now. So he's trying to buy the house he rents. And he can't qualify for it. And but he has, I don't even know what I should talk about. Screw it, who cares who listens anyway. Dude has $300 in his checking account, dude. $300. And I was like, but then I sat there, I was talking to one of my coworkers about it. I was like, do you remember those days when you were in your 20s when you only had like $300 in your account? Do you remember those days and how much you like stressed out? You're like, I can't make rent. I'll never make rent this month. I don't ever want to go back to those days, you know?
Ramen noodles for dinner tonight.
Oh, I know, right? Exactly. And scrounging up. She was talking about, I remember those days when I had to scrounge up change just to get one taco from Taco Bell. I was like, God, those were the days, right? But your stresses were just different, right?
Yes.
Stresses now are just different than stresses that we experienced back then. And it's funny because you think about an ATM these days where you have to, it's only increments of 20 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, my account's got $10 in that. I want my $10. Yeah. Give me my $10. I gotta go get some food. How things have changed, sir. How things have changed.
Very much so.
Right.
So
before all right, sorry, I've been going way off topic all evening. I apologize. What do you got on the docket for tonight, sir?
Well, first off, we'll start with my beer I'm drinking.
Okay.
Triptych Brewing. I think they're in Springfield, Illinois, and the beer is called Dank Meme.
Dank Meme. Okay. Okay, and I like it.
It's a hazy IPA, 5.4%. It's Savoy, Illinois, but I'm pretty sure it's by Bloomington. Okay. Yeah. No, I know exactly where that's at. Okay. Yeah. So what do you rate it out of? How many beers? How many you rate it? I'd give it 4.5 out of 5.
Oh, wow. You like that one a lot.
I do like this one a lot. It's one I'd been searching for a while.
Oh, okay. So where'd you get it from your shop as part of your beer of the month kind of thing?
Nope. When we went to Indiana last weekend, my sister-in-law stopped at a liquor shop in Illinois, and I was just hey, could you just look and see if they have it? And they did. Oh, cool. So I was very happy.
Nice. Well, I am drinking Impact Whey Protein. That's what I am drinking right now. Very low on the carbs, very low on the sugars. So yes, good protein, not bad protein, right?
I had 3 of those shakes today.
3? You drink 3 protein shakes in a day?
I do. I try to have about 200 grams of protein a day.
Wow. I guess I don't drink enough then. I always thought I'm only supposed to have 1 per day. I don't see. That's the thing. If I didn't pay money to go send my kids to good schools, I'd totally get a trainer to teach me all the stuff I really should be doing, you know?
Yeah, because we don't use trainers anymore, but we did for a long time. And one thing they always said was if you're trying to lose weight, try to drink try to have 1 gram of protein for every pound you weigh.
Oh, wow.
So I shoot for about 200 pounds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I needed. I need to drink a lot more protein shakes then. Okay. I feel good about it then. I'll drink like 7 of these a day, I guess. No, that's too many. I know, but still.
Yeah. Because you're supposed to spread it out. A lot of meat, nuts. Yeah. That's why I have 6 eggs in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's good. Good call there. Not great for cholesterol, I guess, right? But
choose one. My cholesterol's fine. I've been doing this for. I've eaten anywhere from 3 to 6 eggs every morning for 10 years now.
You hit up that Costco or that Sam's for them eggs?
No, we hit Aldi's.
Aldi, okay. Well, I was about to say, man, that these egg prices are going up, though, man. They're going up. I saw it at Aldi. I was like, wait a minute. Come on, Aldi. What are you doing?
Our house goes through 6 dozen eggs a week.
Yeah, so there you go. Because I was doing my joke again, where a gallon of milk costs as much as a gallon of gasoline or something like that nowadays. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. So we got our drinks out of the way.
Yep.
You don't do protein. You're doing some beer. So what's on the docket?
I know people don't like listening to wrestling stuff, but man, this AEW stuff has been crazy for the last few weeks.
It's been fantastic. There was a lull period for me where I was just like, it wasn't as entertaining as I would like it to be. I always kept up as far as like, I'd let a few shows go by and then I'd do a little bit of a binge to get caught up. But I'd let almost like 6 weeks go by, I think. Yeah. No, maybe a month, maybe 4 weeks. Let about 4 weeks go by where I just wasn't really keeping up that well. And I did a binge on all of it, all the way up to the new pay-per-view that just hit on Sunday. And it was interesting. I mean, I'm still into it, you know. But the stuff that's interesting now is not the stuff going on the show. It's the stuff not on the show that's so interesting right now.
All the backstage drama.
Which you and I don't see eye to eye on that, I guess, where you're saying it's all legit versus me, I think it's a work, because this is what draws fans. It draws attention. It has people's eyes on the AEW product versus the competition.
Right.
So people are more interested on what the drama behind the scenes, where there is no such thing as bad press, so they're getting press. Everyone's talking about it that's into professional wrestling, and that's why I have to lean towards it being a work. I really do. Which maybe it's just me hoping it's a work, because I think it'd be fantastically smart to be that way.
It would be, but I noticed last night when Tony Khan got on and said the belts were vacated, he didn't say anything about what happened. And apparently there's legal ramifications. The cops weren't called that night, but I don't know if there's pending lawsuits or what. So, but basically the gist is, for a few weeks now since CM Punk's been back, he has gone off script and called out Hangman for a promo that he cut, May?
Okay.
Where he... It was the I'm protecting AEW from you to CM Punk. And it was really, we don't like you here because you screwed over our friend Colt.
Okay.
So a lot of these promos are shoot promos where they do them on the spot, but they usually get together and talk about them beforehand, saying, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about. Well, Hangman didn't do that. So Punk took it personally.
No.
And so when he came back, he called out Hangman, who was not... I don't know if he wasn't there that night. They taped something for BTE where he was with the Dark Order, and someone tried to tell him Punk was talking about him, but he blew it off. So I don't know if they did that after the fact or not. But Punk wasn't very happy with that. He cut that promo at the beginning and then went on Moxley for their little showdown they were going to have. I guess a lot of journalists were talking about how CM Punk's not well liked. FTR came to defend him. In the middle of all of it, Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara got into it, where Sammy called Eddie a fat fuck and didn't get that approved ahead of time. So Eddie confronted him in the back and pie-faced him and got suspended for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then there's stuff with Thunder Rosa where she's accused of sandbagging in the ring, not selling moves of other people.
Okay.
And Britt Baker came out with a sandbagging T-shirt on when she cut a promo.
I didn't know. I didn't even realize that. I hadn't heard any of that stuff.
So when they did the Thunderstorm versus Britt and Jamie Hayter, Thunder Rosa accidentally broke Jamie Hayter's nose. Apparently, they were really pissed off. Thunder Rosa was scared and hid in the bathroom in a stall.
Because Jamie Hayter is huge. Like, she's legit a really big woman.
Yes.
She could if it was a real fight between her and Thunder's tiny, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Comparatively to her, Jamie would destroy her. No joke.
Yeah.
So I get that part of it. Jeez, there's so much.
So all this stuff is going on. I guess Eddie and Sammy worked out their issues, so they're fine. But then Thunder Rosa had to vacate her title, we'll say. There's an interim women's champion now.
Yeah.
But there's questions on if she's really hurt or if she's kind of being phased out. Because people don't like working with her because she's stiff and she doesn't sell moves.
Oh, okay.
So Tony Storm even alluded to that in the media scrum afterwards, her talking about really? Thunder Rosa's injury with finger quotes.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
So everything happens. They have the pay-per-view. Punk wins the title back. And right off the bat, the first question, not even about Colt Cabana, but it turns into something about Colt Cabana because the guy that asked the question, Punk mistook him for somebody else that was friends with Colt.
Oh, okay.
Ripped into Colt, ripped into Hangman, ripped into the EVPs, because he blamed them for leaking all the backstage drama.
Okay.
Where all the journalists are saying, we haven't talked to any of them about it. So essentially, what happened was the Bucks got upset. They were still there. They were supposed to talk to the media. Punk goes back to his locker room, closes the door. After he says, if you have a problem with me, come talk to me. So they go. It said they kicked the door down, but these are big metal doors. I think they just went in without knocking. It led to a confrontation. Matt Jackson got punched in the face. Nick Jackson got hit in the face with a chair. Kenny Omega
from Punk?
No,
just alone?
No, from Ace Steel. Ace Steel was Punk's coach.
Yeah. And he was the guy that came with the contract.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's good friends with Punk.
Yep.
He threw a chair, hit Nick Jackson in the face, and he pulled Kenny Omega's hair and bit him.
All this was Ace Steel. None of this was Punk. Punk didn't do anything.
No, Punk was the one that punched Matt Jackson.
Punched Matt Jackson in the face. Okay, gotcha.
So there was a good 5-minute fight in the back, and there are other people that were there, and we haven't gotten to hear all the stories yet. AEW has a third party coming in to investigate the whole thing before they issue final discipline for it. But as of right now, everyone involved has been suspended.
It sounds like, Omega should be fine. He didn't do anything, is what it sounds like.
Omega went in to get Larry, Punk's dog, and pull him out because Larry started freaking out during it.
Okay, gotcha.
So from what it sounds like...
is Omega well-loved? You seem like an Omega guy. I don't know anything about that guy, to be honest with you.
So
is he... I know he's popular in Japan, but
he's huge in Japan.
Everything I hear about him from Cornette is that he sucks, that Omega is a diva, and that he's over on the fans somehow, but he really shouldn't be. What's your take on him?
I love Kenny Omega. He understands the business of wrestling.
Okay.
And he knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to work a match. He's apparently well-liked. A few weeks ago, when all this kind of started, they had a closed-door meeting, and Kenny played bad cop and laid into some people. And a lot of people took it to heart, what he was saying.
Okay.
But he's really well-respected. He pretty much books most of the women's matches.
Okay.
The Jacksons, on the other hand, are more cocky. I don't think everyone necessarily likes them, but respects what they've done.
Okay. But Khan's doing all the booking though on the male side.
Right. And when you spoke about it kind of being in a lull for a while, that just happened to coincide when the EVPs lost their power of booking. So the Jacksons, Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes were helping with booking.
Okay.
And then I guess at the beginning of the year, Tony Khan took that from him, and he was doing all the booking himself.
Well, I wonder if he's just taking the approach of this company's going to sink or swim because this is my passion project. And if it's going to be great, it's going to be because of me. If it's going to sink, it's because I didn't do a good enough job. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think he's just a giant fanboy that wants to do it all. And I think he's gotten to the point where he realizes he can't because he promoted a bunch of people to help him.
Okay, good. And he shouldn't, because even though McMahon had final word on all of everything over in WWE, he still had Pat Patterson, Briscoe, I guess, was involved with a lot of bookings. Yeah. Triple H was helping out, I guess, at a certain point, right?
Yeah,
so,
and
but no matter what, he had. I guess McMahon had final say, but he still had a lot of people advising at that point, right?
He would ask people opinions, but he would do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. I think a good leader would do what you should do, which is bring in a bunch of good people around you, let them advise. But of course, that's why you get paid the big bucks. You make the final decision. But again, the product succeeds because of your decisions, or it fails because of your decisions, and you get replaced if your decisions are bad. Yeah. Right? That's kind of how it should work.
So, what I'm worried about is Tony Khan losing the locker room over this, because he was sitting next to CM Punk the whole time. And
he's a giant CM Punk fanboy.
Right.
He is. You could tell he is a CM Punk fanboy.
And he would just look at him and shake his head. But then when he was saying some of the stuff, he looked a little horrified.
Okay.
And he really should have been like, look, we're not talking about the cult stuff. We're talking about the pay-per-view tonight.
Yeah.
And try to get it back on track. But he didn't. He just let it go.
Then maybe that's just because you got a guy that's learning the business on the fly.
Yeah.
And maybe this is our period where he's learning, he's going through growing pains, and he's going through the mistakes that will help him become a better owner.
Yeah.
Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping. I really don't want this. As soon as everything happened, as far as our online stuff that both you and I can see every now and then, like rumors of, is it going to fold completely? I don't know, man. You honestly think that thing's going to, I think it's got too much momentum, and it makes, even though Warner Brothers is a complete mess, it still draws ratings and it sells.
It does.
So it's still a profitable product, right?
It does. So for a while, it seemed like HBO Max was the destination for them, where eventually everything was going to move there and the pay-per-views were going to be there, kind of like WWE has done with Peacock.
Sure.
But with Warner cutting everything out of HBO Max like they've done, I think that's dead. And they're looking for any way to cut they can. They're going to stop doing a lot of reruns on TBS and TNT and try to get more original product.
Okay. Oh, well, which like every streaming service is doing, because they want their original products. They don't want to pay for the royalties and rights for those
exactly.
shows. I mean, that's why you see The Office leaving and going straight back over to Peacock, because it was an NBC product to begin with.
Right.
So you're not going to see those reruns on other shows. So I get that.
Yeah.
Man, I really don't want this to be, well, okay, because I think that's happened to WWE too. I thought they're going to lose their Fox contract at some point, and there's not going to be re-up there. I've heard rumors they're going to lose their USA contract as well.
Well, since they have the deal with Peacock, USA's kind of lumped in with it because it's all owned by NBC.
Okay.
So I don't think that's necessarily going to be an issue for them. And from what I've heard, everybody's in a wait and see approach with WWE to see what happens with Triple H running it.
Okay. Which do you ever see them consolidating back, getting rid of SmackDown and just running back to just one big production?
No.
Okay. It's too big at this point. They have to have the two separate shows.
Yeah, I think so. And they have a really big roster, and they're still trying to do NXT.
That's why I mentioned that, because there's just, I think there's just too much. That's just overexposure, I think. And I know they have a lot of talent, and I love that NXT is basically their minor leagues, and they kind of just show that.
Yeah.
But you think NXT is more like your dark elevation where everything should just be on the web, and if people really want to seek it out, they can go see it, and it doesn't really cost them much to produce it, right? If it's just on the web. And I thought with the Fox contract at some point it's going to come to an end with SmackDown, where I guess they moved SmackDown back over to Peacock and just run everything off of that streaming service.
That's what I think they would do.
Okay.
The appeal of NXT,
does SmackDown bring in Fox good ratings?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I guess it's just because I don't watch the product. I don't watch anything WWE. I don't know it well enough to know how well it does.
Yeah. SmackDown for a while was the only one I was watching, and it was on in the background. Just because there were a few guys I liked on there. What I think is going to happen is with Triple H running it, he's going to start bringing in not your just big beasts that Vince McMahon liked. Mm-hmm. So the appeal of NXT is going to go away just for the fact you're going to have all different styles of wrestling rather than just big guys.
Yeah.
And then that's when they really turn it to, look, this is the equivalent of our minor leagues. Because when Triple H was running NXT, he wouldn't concede that point. Mm-hmm. Now that he's running everything, he has. He had someone asked him about the ratings of AEW going up against NXT, and he's like, it's good they beat our minor league.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah. and 3-4 years ago, he wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So I guess the bottom line being the drama's awesome. I guess if we're gonna go heavy centric on just wrestling as far as the show from yesterday, it was the first time I couldn't wait to watch Dynamite. Like usually I go, I'll catch it when I catch it.
Yeah.
But last night was like must see. I need to see what happened from the pay-per-view, the fallout of everything.
Yeah.
Which is following the WWE formula, which even though I never very rarely bought the pay-per-views, but you knew the next night was going to be an amazing Raw. You knew it was going to be so good. And this would kind of have that feeling with Dynamite was this is going to be an amazing after the pay-per-view show.
I went in a little more tepid about it because I'm like,
really,
how are they going to do this?
I think that I really do think they did the coward way out. I think it would have killed. It would have been amazing. First of all, it was lame that Khan did. I don't know if it was pre-recorded or if he just did it from the backstage. Mm-hmm. Khan needed to come out to the ring. I think that would have been better if he would have come out to the ring, and he should have addressed everything. He should have addressed the whole thing. That was the move. And I wonder why either he, A, made the decision not to do it, or B, why did someone advise he not address it at all? Who was it that told him don't do that? So I'm curious if someone did that. And I wonder if it's because there's legal implications. Maybe that's why they couldn't.
That's what I'm thinking, is if there's some kind of lawsuit from this, they really can't say much at this point until the investigation's done.
Because, well, I guess what it would be the Jacksons and Kenny filing suit against Punk and Steel?
I guess so, unless Punk were to try to get them for like being liable or something. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. Ugh, what a mess. I don't know, man. I love Punk. It's been fun, but man, it seems like he brings a lot of drama with him.
He does. And there's two funny things. When he first came back, he's like, I'm here to put over young talent. There's a lot of guys I want to wrestle, and then never put one of them over.
Yeah.
The only guy that beat
which
him
is anti-Danielson.
Yeah.
Danielson does it. Oh, he does it really well.
He put over Chris Jericho at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's not even young talent. That's just an old guy he's wrestled a bunch.
Yeah, exactly.
But then
Jericho's just not going to let go. Jericho's going to be doing. He's the new Ric Flair. He's definitely the new Ric Flair, right? He's going to be doing this till he can't move anymore.
Probably.
Yes.
But the other thing about Punk was when I don't know if you knew about the Sasha Banks stuff. Banks.
I know that she left WWE and said that she was done, but I guess she's back now or something like that.
She walked out. She was tag team champions with Naomi, and they didn't like where their storyline was headed, and they went in and said, "Look, we need to do something, or we're walking out." And Vince said bye, and so they left. Yep. They ended up being released, but I think they've come back since Triple H is back. But he went on and he said, "Oh, that locker room needs to stick with them, and locker room is most important," and going on about how important it is for wrestlers to support each other. And then the first thing he does when he comes back from his injury is lays into Hangman.
Yeah. Interesting. And it feels like Hangman didn't do anything wrong. It feels like Hangman's just grateful for every opportunity he gets, to be honest with you.
He was in the wrong. He probably should have talked to Punk. He probably shouldn't have gone into business for himself, as they called it. Because that's really what set all of this off.
Okay.
Here, I'm trying to find the tweet from CM Punk.
Punk, did he tweet after the altercation?
No, this was what he put after the Sasha Banks thing.
Oh, okay.
I can't find it now. But Miro retweeted it with a laughing emoji.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Which Miro, I'm not a Miro guy. I think you like Miro, but I
do like him.
And I'll say this: there's some talent on the roster that's getting a little stale with me. To be honest with you, Wardlow was fun. He was. He even brought it up when he did his promo, saying that the internet's saying this. But I'm like, I'm the internet. I'm saying it. Yeah. I think you missed the momentum, bro, and it's gone. You did. You missed your big shot to get way over. Which it's not like he's not over, but that guy should have been like heavyweight champ over. I think. And I think they just squandered it. And that's not his fault. I think that's the result of poor booking. I really do.
Here you go. Here's the tweet.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if your opinion of your coworker is positive or negative. Stand with them, because they'll do the same thing to you, and you'll wish someone helped. Trust me, you're expendable. Together, you're unstoppable. That was in May.
Wow, that now with you giving me a little bit more context to what's going on, that Miro tweet makes a lot more sense. It makes a lot of sense now. So yeah, Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So, well, I think we're going to see a lot of turnover in the roster. Then maybe we'll see a consolidation of the roster a little bit. It was getting a little bit out of hand, I think.
Maybe. Malachi Black is gone.
Yeah, but his storyline was weird. House of Black is weird.
I think they could have done it a lot better. I liked what they could have done.
And I get it was maybe a slow burn, and they're going to drag this out for a long time.
Yeah,
but I was hoping for a payoff at some point, and it was like there's no payoff in the near future. There's nothing in sight. There's no payoff.
Well, it
nothing.
took like 4 months for Julia Hart to turn over.
Right? For Julia Hart, really? Yeah. It's like, come on, that's way dragging it out. Did not need that at all. But
they should have done that almost right away.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here, I'll throw this at you. If trim fat off the roster, what are you getting rid of? Or sorry, what? Which team? Which faction? What wrestlers would you be saying? Okay, it's time to move on and move. Let's focus. Let's give some good storylines, and let's really lean into what makes us successful, which is let's focus in on the best talent. Like we can agree, MJF coming back, it was a shot in the arm that the company needed.
Yes,
I think because the crowd loves that he hates them.
Yeah, and his promo was great because right off the bat I'm like, oh, he's playing everybody.
Oh yeah,
but then when you're like 3/4 of the way through it, and you're like, maybe he is doing the face turn. No way. Because I believe in the Civil War the Civil War thing too much, and I'm hoping he's the leader of the faction that's like anti-AEW, which would be Ethan Page, Lee Moriarty. Yep. Looks like he'd be part of that faction. Basically, the Stokely faction, I guess. Because that's what he's been doing is he's been collecting those guys that have been underutilized.
Yeah, the underutilized faction. Yeah. Which there's plenty of momentum behind a lot of the guys that would be on that, and I think MJF would say, I am underappreciated. And if you don't want to say underutilized, underappreciated, which MJF is the number one, which I can't believe he's still putting it right out there in Khan's face about the fact that this guy can't wait to leave to go WWE. At least that's what he's selling. That's what he's selling, but I don't know if that's where he's actually going to go do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. But he's so good at what he does.
The bidding war.
Say what?
The bidding war of 2024.
Right. That's awesome. That's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
But who would you trim off the roster?
It's tough because they have a lot of good wrestlers, but you don't get to see many of them.
Okay.
Like I think Dark Order has run its course, but I don't want to. I don't want to lose Silver and Reynolds. I think they're a great tag team.
But Evil Uno and 10 gone. Yeah. They don't do anything for me.
10. I think 10 could be good. Maybe Andrade buys them. I don't know.
I'm done with Andrade. I don't even care about Andrade, to be honest with you.
Yeah. The whole
Matt Hardy. I'm done with Matt Hardy. Trim him off. Don't need him anymore.
He's a lot of fun on BTE though. I like watching him there.
Okay.
I would get rid of almost everybody with Andrade except for Private Party. I like them.
Nope, they don't do anything for me either. Done. I cut them.
But see, here's the thing I would do though. He's got Ring of Honor. He's waiting for a TV deal. He kind of let the paperwork sit there before he actually filed it to own it. So that's put everything behind. Turn Ring of Honor into their NXT. Move Private Party there. Move Arn's Kid over there.
Move Varsity Blondes. Move them over there.
Yeah, where they can have their own show. They can develop them. And then when they get ready and there's turnover on the roster, move them up.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense too. And I guess when I say trim fat, that's what I mean. I don't need them on TV any longer. They don't do anything as far as story time and a lot of the squash matches. I'm like, why are we doing squash matches on Dynamite? We don't. Yeah. That should be on Dark or Elevate. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I don't need that. Put it on Ring of Honor. You know, we don't need to waste time on that stuff.
So here, if it was me, this is what I'd do. I'd have your two big shows, Dynamite and Rampage, and I'd have them both be 2 hours. I'd have them taped separately.
Yeah.
The wrestlers might not like that because they get all their work done in one day, and then they can go do indies on the weekend.
Yeah.
Turn Dark into your mid-card show. So if you have a story for Ethan Page that doesn't work for Dynamite or Rampage, throw them on there.
Yeah.
Record that before Dynamite. Have Elevation just be your squash matches. They can keep doing that at Universal like they do. Just have a guy come in, wrestle for 2-3 minutes, and then use that for record building for when they do their fake rankings.
Okay.
And then have Ring of Honor there as your NXT and record that with Rampage.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then have everything build up to quarterly pay-per-views.
Which I still like that. I don't want to get on to the whole monthly, because is WWE still doing that monthly pay-per-views?
They are.
They do. That's just too much. It's too much, man. It's way too much.
And that's what has worked for AEW is they do the long-form story. So you could go to pay-per-views with one story going, where WWE, it feels like maybe one pay-per-view, sometimes you get two.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's a 2-month story where AEW works 4-6 months between new arcs.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because I don't know. It just feels like AEW is squandering a lot of opportunity to hit big on certain talent, because they just not. Maybe that's the downfall of the long story form, because I feel like they missed the window on Wardlow. It seems like that's just the momentum just seemed to fizzle out a little bit.
Well, it doesn't.
Darby, I think Darby has fizzled a bit.
Yeah,
I think they completely missed the boat on the Danhausen popularity. That was completely wasted.
Yeah,
Hookhausen was a T-shirt that was going to sell like crazy.
Yeah,
they screwed that up because you had the stoic, awesome badass with the goofy guy. It was a perfect, buddy cop. Yeah. It was a great buddy cop thing that they could have done with those two. And they just keep squandering all this really good storyline and talent. And you're just like, who's at fault here? But like you said, it's Khan. Maybe, I don't know. I think he's got too much on his plate, and with having too much on his plate, he's missing out on opportunities to cash in.
So
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
When they had the EVPs helping with the stories, they had like 2 years planned out. So that whole Hangman run from the start of the company up until him winning the title was all pretty much set. They knew what they were going to do. They knew the first 4 champions. And then after that, it just kind of fell apart. And you could tell that with Hangman because they didn't book him right the whole time he was the champion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might go back to the fact that face champions don't normally do well.
Yeah.
But
here's the funny thing. This sounds, if you want to link our two worlds together, this sounds like good comic book retreat stuff where they go on the retreats and they plan out in advance at least a year minimum, if not 2 to 5 years, saying, where are we going? Where are we headed? What's going to be our big storylines? And then you send out. Maybe that's that's where he's going wrong. Maybe that's what he should be doing. I'm the CEO, but I got instead of your bookers or your EVPs, these are my editors.
Yeah,
they each get assigned my X-Men books, my Cat book. You have an editor for all that stuff, and that would help and try to take a lot off his plate, and that way they can focus on good storytelling.
Yeah,
versus one guy just trying to focus on good storytelling and not doing a good job at it.
Yeah. And then having guys like Malachi Black that want out because they're underutilized and it's impacting their mental health.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't utilized at all, really. He wasn't getting very little time. Was most of his stuff ended up on Darker Elevation, I guess?
No, but it doesn't seem like he won very much when they did feature him and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, first round of the Trios title, they went out.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know. House of Black was weird. I think he was going for the Fiend thing, or not the Fiend, but the
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, going for something along those lines. That's the vibe I was getting from that whole thing.
Kind of, but Brody King and Malachi were together on the Indies, and they made it work on indie shows.
Okay.
I just think they didn't get an opportunity to really do it.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. This is how it always is, though. The behind the scenes stuff bleeds into the ring, and it's always interesting. Although I did find it funny. There's a lot of memes out there where it was a Dark Side of the Ring stuff already. Did
you watch the video I sent you?
Which one was that? No, I didn't, obviously, because I don't know which one you're talking about.
I texted you earlier. someone made a 2-minute Dark Side of the Ring video for this.
Oh, really? Already?
And it was taking clips of like interviews with other people, and it had some Chris Jericho stuff from one of the Dark Side of the Rings, and just applied it to what happened. And
no, because all I have from you was a thing from a Twitter thing from Max Caster. No, you did not. I don't have anything from you as far as a video about it.
I'll have to send it to you. I thought I did.
I got I got a WrestlingNews.com thing, basically an article about.
You know what happened? I sent you a Twitter link and it went through twice instead of doing the.
Because I got the subtext about acting like he wanted to be loved by the crowd until he didn't go his way. Blah blah blah. The T-shirt, the Benoit T-shirt. Jay, there's lines, and I know you love crossing every type of line, but that guy sucks for wearing that shirt.
Yes.
He knew he was going to get some people talking about it because they're just like, and you go too soon. It's always too soon, forever too soon to say what that T-shirt said about Benoit, dude.
So yes, it was a T-shirt of a guy that was at Dynamite last night, and it says "Better Dad than Chris Benoit."
Oh, dude. Oh, poor taste, sir.
It was pretty
cool.
bad.
And then who is this guy that I guess I should know who this is, but the guy said I've been in Germany for 3 weeks. Did I miss anything? Who's that face? Who is that?
Colt Cabana.
That's because I don't know Colt Cabana well enough. Okay, but him and Punk don't see eye to eye is what it is.
They used to be best friends. After Punk left WWE, he went on Colt's podcast and pretty much blasted their medical staff.
Okay.
And a lawsuit was filed against the two of them for defamation.
Oh, really?
And so this is what started this whole story. So Colt Cabana has been on the indies for years. He makes money off T-shirts and podcasts. So he makes enough to get by. But Punk is like a millionaire, and Punk's like, I'll cover your legal fees. So then when Colt would go to the lawyers will like, well, technically we don't represent you. We represent CM Punk. Mm-hmm. So he got his own legal representation, and then Punk wouldn't cover the cost of it.
Oh.
And so they went back and forth. Yeah. The lawsuit by the WWE was dismissed. Colt sued CM Punk to get the money back.
Yeah.
CM Punk countersued him. They settled out of court. There was no money exchange. They both covered their own stuff, and they haven't talked since.
Interesting.
And so when CM Punk came in, Colt's TV time went down a lot, and then his contract wasn't going to get renewed. They brought him back for Ring of Honor instead after the Young Bucks went to bat for him.
Okay.
So that's why.
So Colt's liked, and it seems like CM Punk is going to be isolated as far as, I guess FTR is the only people that kind of have his are in his corner.
I think, well, no, because like Powerhouse Hobbs has talked about what a good influence Punk has been there, because he'll sit down with young guys and watch their matches and help them get better.
Okay.
But he also rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
It seems like more than not.
Yeah.
That's the problem with that equation.
Yeah. And so if it comes down to Colt, Hangman, Young Bucks, Kenny, I think more of these guys are going to side with them because AEW wouldn't be there without them.
Yeah. And you know what I love most about this? A name we haven't mentioned at all, which I'm going to assume he's hurt and he's just rehabbing. But Adam Cole has this... so he's hurt, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah, he's hurt.
Okay. But his name is not mentioned except for the fact I think I was reading of all the wrestling stuff that came out. I guess Adam Cole is probably the most liked guy in the entire company. Like, no one has a bad thing to say about Adam Cole.
Oh, well, Colt Cabana is right there with him. Everyone loves Colt, except for CM Punk now.
Yeah, well, obviously.
But I mean, they were.
That's what I find so. But again, when we talk about missed opportunities for bookings, we were saying it for a long time. Why is Adam Cole not belted? Why did he not have the belt? I mean, I know he was happy for Hangman to have it, but they missed the window.
Yeah.
Cole came in with all of the momentum. He had all of the momentum. He should have had it.
Yeah.
He should definitely have the belt.
There's a lot of guys that probably should have had it at some point already, but I mean, they're really sticking with, let's draw it out. It was supposed to be the summer of Punk, and it probably would have been a really good reign, but It's funny. He's a 2-time champion with a total reign of 5 days.
That's true. Oh my God, keeps getting hurt. Yeah. And everyone's listening now, but yeah. So here's the question. I guess are we prepared to move on without him? Should we be? I guess the better way to say that was, should we be prepared to say his time in AEW is done?
I think so. So he tore an arm muscle doing a tope suicida in the match.
Okay.
There's rumors he might have had surgery already. He's supposed to be out probably 8 months.
Oh my God. Okay. He's not going to get paid during that 8 months. That's for sure. Not from AEW.
Being suspended right now. No, he probably shouldn't. I don't know if they're going to pay them until the investigation is done.
Yep.
But a lot of wrestlers are saying, look, if he's still getting paid while he's suspended, he's getting off because he's not going to be wrestling anyway because he's injured.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, and then a lot of people have been saying AEW needs to start worrying about how they're handling their wrestlers because of how many injuries there are right now. There's a ton of injuries throughout that entire roster.
Yeah, but I think that's to be expected with the style of wrestling that a lot of these guys do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, I mean, that goes back to McMahon. There's a reason why he wanted those guys that don't do the crazy stuff that these guys do. So, because there's that other side of things, even though it's amazing to see high risk, high reward, right?
Yeah.
Well, this high risk stuff, there you go. There you have it. This is what's happening. You end up with a roster that's depleted because of so many injuries.
Yeah. Well, I still have nightmares of Ray Fenix dislocating the elbow.
Yeah, that botched move. Oh my God.
That was so bad.
Yeah, that was really bad. That was super, super bad. So, yeah, man, it's been good catching up about it because we haven't talked about it in a long time. Because there hasn't been much to talk about, to be honest with you.
There really hasn't.
But this kind of reignites the interest in it for sure because I just want to see where it goes.
I've spent more time this week reading about wrestling than I have in years.
Yeah, because it's been entertaining. That's the best part. That's why I think it's a work because it captures your attention.
So even
if it's not a work, you gotta turn it into one, right?
Yeah. I said this is a lot like Matt Hardy and Edge back when Lita cheated on him with Edge and they worked a program afterwards.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it's funny you say his name, Edge. There's some guy that they just brought in, which is a doppelganger of Edge. Like, do you know who I'm talking about? That look exactly like him?
No.
Oh, I don't know who this guy is. Like, they just brought him in, like, last week or something like that. God, I'm trying to think of who which faction he came in with. But wears black pants, bigger, like taller than Edge.
Morrissey,
like a big guy. What'd you say?
Morrissey,
possibly. Yeah, that
with Stokely Hathaway's guys.
I think so.
He was one of the guys that Wardlow beat on his way to get to MJF.
Possibly, maybe. I don't know.
He was an Impact wrestler. I don't know if he's signed with AEW or if he's just here for a short run.
Which, you know who I miss already? Mm-hmm. Who could have had a great run? Speaking of missed opportunities, again, which I'm guessing he's just going back. I guess his contract with New Japan or whatever. But what Kinesco, how you pronounce his name? Kinesco or whatever?
Yeah, Takeshita.
Yeah, whatever. You know who I'm talking about. The guy, his big move was the flying knee or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy is an athlete. That dude move. He is huge. He sells well. He can do all the moves. He was great. He was really. I think he was getting his momentum going, and as soon as his momentum was there, boom, I'm gone. you know, this is a missed opportunity again.
I think he had a limited visa, and he was going back to Japan for whatever their last big tournament was at New Japan.
Okay, but I thought he was great. I would love to have him back over here. He was fun to watch. Really fun to watch. I think guys enjoyed working with him too because he seemed like a good worker. Yeah,
and he was working like almost every week. It seemed like.
Yeah, he was working a lot.
There was one week where I think he was on Dynamite Raw or Dynamite Rampage and did a dark match.
Really? See, he's a worker. That's great.
Yeah.
Because who else was I gonna say?
Ospreay.
Yeah. But I'm guessing he's so big over in Japan, he doesn't need to worry about it over here.
I believe he has a title over there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That guy's amazing. You can't tell me that guy's not. God, he is so good.
Oh, I know. That match with the Bucks was just unreal.
Unreal, right? Yeah.
I've been waiting for him and Kenny to face off forever because they trash talk each other all the time.
The announcement from the ring announcer.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega sells more T-shirts than this guy. Yeah. Like, oh my god, that's great. That made me laugh the entire time.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's great. I'm guessing that's all from Kenny Omega saying say this shit. So
yeah.
Are they friends? And this is just friendly digs, or are these like no, we're really competitors and we're not friends at all?
I can't tell.
Oh really? Okay.
I'm sure they're probably friends because they have to sit there and plan those matches out ahead of time.
Yeah.
So
Ospreay just does some shit that you just don't see, and he's so big to be able to do the stuff that he does, and it's fluid. Like everything's just so smooth that he does.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
man. Yeah,
we missed an opportunity. We missed an opportunity because he wrestled over in Belleville.
Oh, he was what, that one show that we
Yeah.
okay. We missed a couple of good, I think, opportunities to see some good stuff as far as the independent circuit, but
yeah,
that's hard to get all that stuff too. But I was going to mention one other thing. Pac.
Yeah,
I think we're missing opportunities with Pac. That guy, talk about a guy that sells.
Yeah.
Did you see him on his match on Dynamite?
Yeah.
The Orange Cassidy planted him with a DDT. It was almost as good as a Rock sell. And I think Rock, that's why Rock was really good. Rock sold other people's moves super well.
So they're going to be working a program together, I think, for the North Atlantic title. And I think Orange Cassidy's going to win it just because they just put the trios belt on them.
Pac and Orange Cassidy are going to have a thing? Okay. Which it sounds like because, they're talking crap about each other or whatever. So, yeah. Or more Pac to Orange Cassidy, but yeah. Pat, that guy's an athlete too, man.
He is.
They got some great athletes, that's for sure. And like you said, they got a huge roster. It's just trying to put the right people on the right shows. And then I think I do think they need to trim some fat. I really do. I think there's some, maybe it's overexposed roster. Some of them just need to go.
I really think they can get away with another hour on Rampage.
And I think I'm officially on board no matter what. With the women's, you got to give them an hour online only. It's a waste of time on the show, to be honest with you. The mixed matches are garbage.
Yeah.
They're hurting each other with botched moves. I mean, Jamie Hayter could have her nose broken for one. It's sloppy.
But they have so many women on the roster too that they really could have an hour and a half show of just women's matches.
Yeah. And I don't know who's going to watch though, except for maybe I'm interested in Jade. I think Jade. I like watching her. She's getting better and better on the mic.
Yeah, she's getting
better in the ring. She was just super raw, super raw. And the more she works, I think the better she'll get. Because I think she's a natural athlete. I really do.
Yes.
I mean, her bodybuilding is one thing, but she actually can move a bit. So it's fun to watch her. But a lot of the other ones, I'm just like, no, you guys are going to hurt each other so much, and they miss moves so much. Ugh,
That's right. We might see one of Sammy and Darby Allin die on Friday the way they wrestle.
Right? Oh my God! Yeah, Sammy takes a lot of risks. I could see him doing it.
He's very sloppy too.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ruby Soho doesn't have a broken neck.
Yeah, I know. It's Ruby. Is it her or is it the other wrestlers?
Both.
I like that answer. Good answer there. She bothers me, and she's bothered me since she's been here. She misses a lot.
Yeah, she does.
And it bothers me to go and like, oh my God, I can't believe someone, like you said, didn't break their neck, especially her. So, yeah, man, yeah. So, I'm back on board. Not like I left, but like I wasn't, like when you originally had me come on board, I was super into it, and then I kind of like, I'm still watching, but not as passionately as I once was. But now I'm like, I watched Dynamite today, the day after, right? So I was into it, man. So we'll see where we go from here. I'm very interested. Hopefully, I'm hoping this doesn't drag out too long. I'd love for it to either become part of a work, and let's get moving on that, or if it's not a work and we're cutting ties with people, then we cut ties and let's see where they go from there. Because could Omega go over to WWE?
I'm sure they want him. Right before AEW happened, they had him and the Bucks had an offer from the WWE, but Tony Khan also approached them about starting AEW, and they decided to go AEW.
To just so they could have more control over their story. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, but Bucks, I'm sure they take Bucks too. I'm sure they wouldn't say no to them, right?
Yeah. Because it was Triple H that approached them about NXT.
Yeah, but no way does Punk go over to WWE. There's no way, right?
No,
because they wouldn't want him.
No. Triple H has already said he's their headache.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, but yeah, I think that's a good recap on what's been going on since we haven't touched on wrestling in quite some time. So it's not bad. It was newsworthy enough that there's so much going on with it that it was entertaining. It was a fun weekend here with all the crap that went on. That's for sure. Yeah, I found it very entertaining, and we'll see if they can just keep up with the momentum, ride that wave, right? On the upswing. So, did you have anything else on the docket for the evening?
Yeah, here's just a quick little thing.
Okay,
we are an award-winning podcast now.
We are.
So this website, Lux Life, they're a food and drink company.
Hold on, dude. No way.
They have these awards.
Okay.
And so, like, they emailed me and, like, do you want to be nominated? I'm like, sure, whatever. It can't hurt anything. And so last week I got an email back saying we are the Food and Drink Award 2022 Beer Lover Podcast of the Year.
Because we talk about a beer for like 2 seconds?
I know.
Podcast.
So what makes it, why they did this?
Okay.
They try to get you to purchase an award from them.
Oh, like, is that what it is? Okay.
They range from like $300 to like packages that are up to like $2,000.
Okay.
I'm like, no, I'm not going to purchase anything. I'm good.
But we still won an award somehow?
Somehow. I'll forward you the email I got from them.
Please do. And then, is it posted on their website somewhere?
They're going to release like a newsletter with all the winners in it, and we'll be listed in it.
our stupid little podcast that no one listens to
at
all. Because we talk about beer every now and then, but we haven't. Okay, now I feel like I gotta start drinking more beer, Jay.
So I'm gonna get the complimentary package, which is free, and it says a company listing on the online A to Z directory of awardees, and then official Food and Drink Award 2022 press release.
Oh wow!
So like the next package is $850, and you get a full page editorial and a celebratory magazine.
Cool.
A trophy, a personalized digital photo, and then plus complimentary items, plus shipping included.
Oh my god! Just for you and I talking shit for a couple hours.
I know. So
this is hilarious.
If we want to invest about $6,100, we can get the main cover image and headline on the magazine, 4 pages of article space, 2 trophies, a wall-mounted plaque, a personalized digital logo, a digital certificate, a press release, an 8-page digital brochure dedicated to our company, 100 printed copies of your 8-page brochure, double spread in a future issue of Lux Life magazine, social media spotlight across the Lux Life platform.
So when we go to Comic-Con next year, we go, wait a minute. We need press passes because we are award-winning podcast. Is that what we get to say? Nice.
That's what we get to say.
So hold on. Since you know I'm a big fan of Radio Wars, you need to now draw your allegiances and say PC Bombcast. You got to choose sides, Jay.
Oh no.
We got to go to war.
We're
award-winning, Jay. We are award-winning.
Oh.
So, and then do we go to Marcus and go, Marcus? Sorry, buddy. We're probably too good for you now.
Sorry, Marcus.
Sorry, if you want to be on our podcast, we're going to have to charge you to be on our podcast. And then what do we do with Toner? We go, hey, Toner, just want to let you know the fact that you moved to Florida. With you leaving the group, we were able to become
We've stepped up our game since you left.
Oh, yeah. We stepped it way up, Jay. We're super professional with how we do this. Where we take, weeks off at a time just because we can't fit in our schedules because we got busy family lives.
Yeah.
So hold on. that's just the St. Louis guys and some of the other, people within our little world here that you've met along your trails of doing this little venture that we do.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is, next up, 2 Bears, 1 Cave, Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, watch out. Yep. We're coming for you. We're aiming for you.
We are coming.
And then we're coming because, 2 Bears, 1 Cave, well, we're whatever. We're not that. But then Joe Rogan, coming for you, dude. Coming for you. God.
Kevin Smith is safe because we like him.
I know. I think he's safe. I think he's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to worry about our stupid little podcast, which at one point was downloaded quite heavily in Russia, I believe, or something like. Where were we very popular over in Europe?
I don't remember anymore.
We were super. I think maybe even Germany. Maybe it was Germany where we were super popular for a while there. Lots of downloads, almost in the triple digits over there.
Might have been because of all the Jew jokes.
Possibly for a little bit. Maybe not in the brightest light, but hey, whatever gets the ratings, right?
Exactly.
But you see,
whatever gets the downloads.
We've gone from being very popular over there to now where we're recognized and appreciated in our own country now. This is the funniest thing I've heard forever. Oh my god, that's too funny, dude. But yeah, forward me that stuff. I would love to read that. That's so funny. I get to show it to maybe my wife will be proud of me now. Maybe she'll respect me a little more.
Maybe she'll listen to an episode.
Maybe she'll finally listen to maybe one. Maybe she'll listen to one until she hears us talking about wrestling. Go, oh God, not again.
She'll get about 4 minutes in then.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's so funny, dude. So, okay, well, thanks for sharing the news. That's awesome for us. Look at us go. Congratulations, sir. You would deserve it. You do all the work. I just show up. Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
So, okay. Besides the fact that we're not an award-winning podcast, anything else we got on the docket for the evening?
No, I got nothing else.
Okay, can I throw some stuff at you?
Yeah.
Okay. DC Comics is officially a freaking mess, dude. Did you read that they did not have enough money to release more than 3 movies within the next, I think, 1 or 2 years? Did you read that?
Yes, that's why they pushed back Shazam and Aquaman 2.
And then this was the thing that makes you really take a pause on what's going on over at DC. Did you see the headline that there's going to be no DC Fandom 2023?
I did see that.
What do you take from that? What should we be reading anything into that? Should we be worried with WB cutting as much as they can? Are we eventually going to see the sale of DC? And who buys them if they do?
I'm sure there's plenty of investors out there that would want to buy them, just for the licensing alone.
But who's your number one? Do you think that would take them?
God, I don't know.
Here's something crazy off the wall. Would Image come in and want to buy DC?
No.
Or would that tarnish what Image is? Or the models are too different?
Models are too different. Because Image is more just a shell for their creators to come in and make their own thing.
But it still makes money.
It does.
It's not a non-profit.
No,
you know what I mean? So.
No, I agree. It still makes money, but just their models are so different because they're not going to sit here and say, we're going to do work for hire stuff and we own everything, because then that goes against the whole purpose of them being created in the first place. Okay. What I don't even see someone like a Dark Horse, a Boom stepping up. I think it's going to be some kind of private investor who's going to go to a Jim Lee, a Jeff Johns, and say, let's put together an investment group to buy this, and we'll let you guys just run with it.
You trust Jim Lee and Jeff Johns to make it profitable?
I don't, but those are 2 of the bigger names there. I mean, how profitable overall are comics right now anyway?
That's a great question. I don't, because even if you say Marvel, I think Marvel just has the backing of an endless piggy bank.
Marvel Comics survives. That's
basically a farm system for them to find writers to write them scripts for their next TV or movie.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Not to write the scripts, but to create the outlines of the stories.
That's what I meant. Yeah. I meant they create the storylines that they eventually turn into the movie or TV show.
Because the people that are actually writing the scripts are Hollywood people.
Yeah, correct. No, you're right. Well, except for Chris Kyle and Kyle, or is it Chris Kyle and Kyle Yost? They dip their toes in both worlds. I thought
they do, but I don't think they've done anything for Marvel. I think they've done more of their own type of stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. But I think they're a great writing team. I think they do good stuff.
I do too. I've liked what they've done.
Okay.
I think I think someone will buy them. There's so much. If they could get a system put together like Marvel, where the money is really in the characters that make it to the screen, and then the comic book publishing is just there in the background.
Yep. I don't know. It just worries me. I think we both agree that the big two is good for the comic industry as a whole. It makes it so people, where they have success at the big two, they can then go to an Image, a Dark Horse, they can go do their own thing, which will be successful, and it finds a way to be good somewhere. And so my concern being that if you lose the big two, where if Disney just wants to buy everything, which I don't think they can coexist at the same company, but maybe if Disney wants to buy whatever they want to buy, right? Could we see a world where Disney owns both Marvel and DC?
I heard talks of it probably at least 2 years ago, probably more than that, because I was listening to a podcast talking about it as I drove into work, so this was pre-pandemic, that people had been floating it out there, but I don't ever see it happening.
Could it coexist? Do you think they could coexist under the same roof?
I think eventually it would just be one big universe.
Is that good for comics, though?
No.
I don't think so either. I think it's bad for comics.
To go back to wrestling, I mean, WWE got stale with no real competition.
True.
And now AEW is
competition is always good. Yeah. Competition of the comic sales. Which you're saying, do they really make money? Well, I think they do make enough money to give these guys a living, right? You know?
Yeah.
So,
but
it's a medium that shouldn't cost that much to make a profit, right? I mean, your talent is probably your most expensive thing.
Yeah.
But
they're contractors.
To create a floppy shouldn't cost that much, right?
No, but I think they make more off digital. I think they make more off $10 a month to read whatever you want than someone going to the shop, because they have to pay Diamond to distribute. They have to pay the creators. They have to pay the printing companies. So there's a lot involved there, where if it was all digital, that's more profit.
I also think that comics is still falling behind, where you and I have spoken at length about this in the past, where I think you're on board with me, where the floppy needs to go to the wayside. I guess there's always going to be a small niche group that wants the floppy, but I think you and I both agree it needs to go to straight trade. Like, as in, I no longer write a monthly book. I write a full storyline. I write a full run of 6 issues, and we buy our books that way.
They've already moved to that model, but they just release it monthly still. Because if you think about a lot of the arcs, I mean, you have 4 to 6 issues of an arc, but you have to wait every month to get the next one. That's been one of my big gripes with Batman Killing Time, is it's a story that was told kind of like Pulp Fiction, not necessarily in linear order. So when you're sitting there reading it, you don't remember what happened because it's been 4 weeks since you read the previous issue.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah.
So,
but I still think, like what I'm saying with the model, I'm saying it gets released. The full run gets released, as in there is no floppy. It goes. I think the floppy goes away at some point.
I would have thought it would have happened already, just based off how the writing style has trended for the last 20 years.
Is there a reason why you think that it hasn't gone away? Like, is it the purists that go no, or is it's going to destroy the does that kill the brick and mortar? The brick and mortar can't survive without it.
That will kill the brick and mortar, because they still rely on the pull and hold weekly people that come in and get their stuff religiously. Yeah. But I think that group is going to be aging out.
I think you're right. I really do. But is Jeremy's your friend? He was the one that used to own a comic book shop, correct? I'd love to get his take on that. I'd love to get a group of guys that love comics together to really kind of think of where's the future going to be? How does it, is brick and mortar going to go away? Do we really want to go? Does it need to go away? Like, even for guys like us that love the brick and mortar, we still don't go to it, right? So is it worth being saved? You know, stuff like having that conversation and going, or is it better for comics as a whole to get rid of the brick and mortar model? Yeah. And it's just time to evolve and get past it. Pros and cons of that. I really am curious about what people think about that.
Me personally, I still love having the book in my hand and reading it.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. Yeah. Especially a floppy. If I can ever get back to that, but I just can't do it because here, I'll tell you what I was doing today because we were so slow at work. I've got my reading list of, because I finished, I am caught up on everything I told you I'd be caught up on. Yeah. I have caught up on Daredevil. I've caught up on Spider-Man. I've caught up on Nightwing. All caught up. Yeah. I've read all of it. I've now made my reading list for the Miles Morales runs, the Flash, updated a Batman run with Detective included in there. Your Detective run, that's a long run that you did, I think. Unless you didn't do all of it.
I'm about to start volume 9 of just the Rebirth stuff.
Oh, that's the problem. There's just Rebirth. Yeah. But my Batman run, let's talk about that for a quick second. About how far behind, since we were a little bit DC centric tonight. Here's the thing with Rebirth. I didn't realize how old Rebirth is at this point because that happened 2017-ish, 2016, 17, I think.
16, I think.
We're that far. We're what, 6 years removed from Rebirth now?
Yep.
Does it feel like we've gone that far? Because not only does Rebirth was huge as it is, but we've now missed out on Infinite Frontier and Future State.
Yeah.
Future State happened after Rebirth. Then there's this thing called Infinite Frontier. Have you heard about this at all?
Is this the one that ended up primarily getting canceled where they were going to do... Oh, God, I don't remember what it was now.
I don't know enough about it. That's why it's on my reading list to get into it, just to go, what's this all about? But even in between that, there's these little mini events where there was something called Deceased.
Yes.
That Tom King took, or was it Tom Taylor that he took a stab at that?
Yeah.
And then there was
it's kind of like their Marvel Zombie type thing.
You had Deceased, and then you have DC Vampires was a thing for a minute.
Really?
I think that was a thing for a hot second. Oh yeah, there's a DC Vampires thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like Infinite or Future State was the big thing.
Yeah.
I guess Future State was, again, that was just you're looking to the future, a world without Bruce Wayne, a world without, I guess, where John is the Superman.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then Infinite Frontier. Infinite Frontier got canceled. Though is what you're saying. That was just.
I think that's the one.
Oh, see, I have no idea about that because the Detective run kind of runs into that. Where, Rebirth. You're saying Rebirth is a different Detective run altogether.
Yeah.
But you kind of just flow immediately into. It doesn't really have a future. Like Future State's a very small blurb, or a small blip on the radar, I guess. Then you run right into Infinite Frontier from Rebirth, and Rebirth was a big deal. That was New 52 was so. I don't know if can we say a mixed review or was it hated? I don't know. It depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to, but I think generally it's disliked.
But Rebirth, it was a home run. I think everyone. I don't hear many complaints about Rebirth.
Yeah.
And then, but I've heard zero. I heard nothing about Future State. I've heard even less about Infinite Frontier. So what does that tell you about DC Comics right now?
Yeah.
I'm lost on it where you just don't know what's going on. But on the flip side of that, from a Marvel standpoint, I'm not hearing much in the news about Marvel either, as far as big events or big things and the news that will catch your attention. I mean, DC hogged the news there for a bit with the whole Jonathan Kent thing. But other than that, what do we really got to look forward to? Like, what's going on the Marvel side that you can share that's got some big news behind it?
I guess the big thing going on right now is they are having a big X-Men Avenger Eternal kind of crossover thing.
Okay.
So in the most recent Eternal run, it has been determined that mutants are actually deviants.
What?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the diehard X-Men fans are like, this is crap and get this out of here. I would hope.
I don't know. I haven't read much of the reaction. I haven't read much of what's going on in the books because I'm waiting for them to show up on the app in 3 months.
Gotcha.
But in the story, it made sense at the time because it was dealing with Thanos being an Eternal, and he actually becomes Eternal Prime.
They were really trying to push this Eternal thing where the movie didn't do well.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're trying to do.
It reminds me of the Inhuman stuff a few years ago.
Exactly. They pushed that really hard.
They did.
It just didn't do it. It didn't do anything, right? Not that I didn't hear anything that you were like saying you got to read this about Inhumans.
I didn't read any of it actually. Yeah. I think the best thing to come out of it was Kamala Khan.
Interesting. See, so that's just the state of comics. But my list goes back so far. Like the Miles stuff, I have to go all the way back to All New, All Different.
Yeah,
that's how far back we're talking. And how old is that initiative? That's almost 10 years old at this point, I would think.
I think so.
So yeah, man, there's a lot to go catch up on with that. But I'm looking forward to it. Before I get over to homework, I will recommend the Nightwing run.
I really want to read it. It's probably next after I get through all my Batman stuff.
I think I almost feel bad that I didn't do Spiral.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking that I don't think you need to. I think it would only enhance your enjoyment of the Nightwing stuff that occurs right after, with Rebirth, I guess. Yeah. Because that's what's great about the Batman books. Even though I guess Rebirth was supposed to say, forget about New 52, we'll start fresh. The Batman books didn't really forget.
No.
Too much. They kind of just flowed. They didn't say let's retcon. None of the Batman books did that. To be honest with you. Here's my biggest takeaway from the Nightwing run that I'll give to you. Now, let's see if you agree with me or not. The Dick Grayson character is the heart and soul of the entire DC universe.
I can see that. He's definitely the heart and soul of the Batman universe.
He's definitely that. I mean, he's definitely the heart and soul of the Batman. But I'll even extend it out to the entire DC universe. He is the most beloved character from all. There's not anybody that hates the Dick Grayson character.
Yeah,
he's the best of them. Is what you look at, and even there's even a small panel on a book I just recently read, but it was in a Batman book. Where Batman meets with Nightwing, and it's about because at some point I think Superman goes off world. I think there's something that has to do with War World or something like that he's in. And so Jonathan, when they aged him up, Jonathan's on his own taking care of Metropolis, and basically it's a scene where he's asking Dick to keep an eye on Jonathan for him.
Yeah.
When you have Superman saying, "This is the guy I want looking after my kid," that says a lot, I think, and that's why I made that bold statement of saying, "Hey, I think I understand." I didn't always read a lot of Nightwing. I read a lot more Robin books that were Tim Drake centric back in the day.
Yeah,
I guess I missed out on a lot of good Nightwing stuff. I guess, but he's pulled me into the when you have that debate of who do you think the best Robin is. It's kind of hard for me not to say I'm in the Nightwing camp at this point.
Yeah,
I really am after reading all this. It's really good, super enjoyable. So I highly recommend you go ahead and dive in on it. You're not going to be disappointed, I don't think.
So you can add to your list. Something is killing the children.
It's becoming an Amazon show too, I think, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I know you've been saying it, but is that I keep forgetting. Is that ongoing?
Yeah, it is.
Ugh, and how many trades am I behind on that?
I've got the first 4 trades, and I've got the first spin-off trade. I
still have, by the way, completely off topic. I still got to get back one of your Black Hammer books. I still got that, so it's not lost, and I need to get it to you. So.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Okay. So, but I guess my question is to you. You're saying something is killing the children. Do I put that as in like bump that ahead of Miles?
Yeah, you can get through those 4 trades quick.
Okay. Write it down. I gotta remind myself. I've heard of it enough. What's funny is I looked up Goodreads for 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I fell on that. It's on a list for 11-year-olds.
Really?
Like, is it appropriate for 11-year-olds to read?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Kaylee's read it all. She liked it. I mean, she's 14 though.
Because that's on the list because I was on a Scholastic thing.
Okay.
I pulled up like Scholastic books if you remember those things, like book fairs and stuff.
Yep.
And then it was on there. I was like, I that rung a bell. I was like, I could have swore this is a comic book, and yeah, I looked into it. I was like, it is. It's the same damn as James Tynion, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 4 trades in.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there an insight right now, or is it going to be one of those where he's going to try to go for a really long run? Like we're talking about 100 issue run. You think?
He could easily do 100 issues onto this.
Really?
Yeah, because the first 3 trades are pretty much one self-contained story, and then the 4th trade is more like an origin story.
Okay. And
then the side book is called House of Slaughter, which kind of gives more of a background of the whole organization that's in the book.
So I need to read House of Slaughter?
You could probably read it after you read the first 4.
Is this the one where, or is this a Black Hammer thing? What was it, Skull Kicker or something like that?
Yeah, Skull Kicker. Yeah, that's Black Hammer. Skull Digger.
Okay. I'll get to that a bit at some point, I'm sure. But okay, so 4 trades in. That's your big book that you've been on right now.
I finished that. I've actually been in a Stephen King book for a while. It's kind of dragging, but
okay.
The 11/22/63.
That sounds familiar for some reason. That's Stephen King. That's something new that he did.
I wouldn't say it's new. It's they did a mini series on Hulu about it with James Franco. So it was before he was canceled.
He's been canceled since then.
Yeah.
But did he co-write that with somebody?
No, this was all him.
Okay, because I saw something recently on the stands. If you were to ask me what it is, I don't know. I could have swore it was his name on a book with somebody else. If you'd ask me who it was,
there might be recent stuff like that. It's not a bad book. It just drags the parts, and it's like one of those 700-page books.
You're torturing yourself, sir. So, okay, yeah, no, I'll see about trying to get started on something that's killing the children. I guess I'll have to just get moving on that. Although I was kind of looking forward to looking at Deceased pretty quick. Just because it was really short, contained. I think it's like 2 or 3 trades or something like that.
Yeah, there's not much to it.
So, all right. Anything else that you're reading?
Let's look through my list. I'm in the process of reading the Jane Foster Thor run, which isn't bad.
The news on that we didn't hit on was Taika Waititi. He's out.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, they said he's not returning for Thor 5.
Oh, that's a bummer.
They said they didn't because of the poor performance of Thor 4, which I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not either.
It couldn't have done horrible.
No.
I don't think it did bad, but I just don't think it hit the numbers they were looking for.
Yeah, it's disappointing though because he made Thor the most interesting of anyone in the MCU that's worked on those movies.
For sure. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, Thor. That was another thing that we didn't talk about. Oh, and are you seeing headlines about the new Warner Brother head trying to say that he's going to bring DCEU back?
Yes, and he brought somebody in, I can't think of the guy's name right now, to be like a Kevin Feige to oversee it all.
And I think that guy's already said he's not doing it. I think his name was David Lynn. Yeah, I think his name was David Lynn, and he's already out again. He's not doing it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, and I don't know if that's his name. I hope. I think I know the last name was Lynn. I don't know his first name.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were excited because I think he'd worked on other properties.
Yes, he had. Let me see if I can find him.
Oh, Dan Lynn, not David. Dan. He was a Lego movie producer.
Yes.
And the headline from 2 years ago was Dan Lin won't take DC film and TV chief role at Warner Brothers. So I think they wanted him to do it. I think he made a smart move and said, I don't think I want to touch this thing.
Yeah.
Because the headlines the days before that were, they found their guy. They found their Kevin Feige. He was supposed to be their Kevin Feige. And 2 days later, nope, not going to do it anymore. I was like, oh my God, DC, can you do nothing right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So... yeah, man, that's just
he's worked on a lot.
Hey, this is the hard-hitting headlines and analysis you get from an award-winning podcast. Oh my God!
We are an award-winning beer podcast, apparently.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You drink enough beer, you'll like our podcast. So yeah, man. Yeah, that's sad. But I'm like, okay, is Cavill back? Is Affleck back? Do you want to take it? Should we just put DC movie talk completely on a back burner for the next like 2 to 3 years?
We might need to.
We see something come out, because nothing comes to fruition. Nothing happens. It's just an endless cycle of nothingness. It feels like.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. They can't get that thing figured out. So, but let's tangent off that real quick, and let's get into a She-Hulk review real quick.
Okay, I've not watched today's episode.
Neither I haven't watched it either, but that thing we discussed briefly on our last podcast about the whole female hatred or whatever. The internet hating on I actually saw it for the first time now, where I had not seen anything before. Mm-hmm. I'm now seeing a lot of memes, a lot of headlines, basically going, "This is where we're at now, Marvel." Basically, it's going, "Really? This is what you're giving us? Is a bad She-Hulk show?" Yeah. Which I'm actually liking She-Hulk. I'm not hating it.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, I got nothing wrong with it, but I'm seeing the memes out there where the most recent one I saw was basically there's a new one with it's sad Hawkeye in the bathroom or something like that. Have you been seeing these?
Yeah.
And it's on the writing on the sink was Thanos was right. And the next picture is, of course, She-Hulk twerking picture or whatever from this episode. Which I'm like, if that's your biggest gripe, whatever. You know, it was a throwaway tag on at the end. It was not a big deal. Apparently, it was a big deal. Apparently, the internet made it a big deal when it didn't need to be.
There was another one of Hulk, Captain America, Ant-Man, and Iron Man, where they're all looking, and then they see her twerking, and then they're all looking away, like, "Oh God."
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was like it was a picture of Hulk kind of being embarrassed.
Yeah,
it was because Hulk, when he was saying he was embarrassed when they went back in time on Endgame.
Yeah,
when he saw himself being like Hulk smash, it's like, oh, this is just embarrassing. Yeah. So, I'm enjoying the show. I'll tell you what, they produced that show to have commercials or something, because those are 20-minute episodes, man. Those are quick episodes.
They're very quick.
They don't have a lot of meat on the bone, is what I'll say, I guess. I don't know whatever way terminology to use. But it's not bad. I enjoy her performance as Jennifer Walters. I think they picked the right actress. She's not bad at all.
And she's just a different type of character than what people were expecting, I think, because they're going for the day-to-day life of her rather than let's beat up the bad guys.
Yeah, in which I think they kind of, what almost feels like is that they're forcing that into the show. Yeah, like at the end of the last episode where she beat up some guys that were
the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, exactly. Did that feel forced to you a little bit?
It seemed like it came out of nowhere, but I think it's something that's going to pay off later.
Hopefully, yeah. But because how many episodes more? Is this a 12-episode one?
It's 9 episodes. 9. Because we're already a third of the way through, because that was episode 3 last week, right? Yeah. So 4 came out today.
4's out today. Okay, so I'll be watching that later probably. So I don't know. It's definitely a TV show. She's definitely not movie worthy. Yeah. Can you? Is there plans you think to put her in a movie at some point?
I'm sure she'll show up someplace. Okay. Well, from what I've heard, though, the action kind of starts picking up, I think, this week.
Okay. But I'm okay with that. Yeah. I don't need a lot of action to enjoy the show. Yeah. What I was trying to get at with the Wrecking Crew thing, saying it was Forrest thing, I've been enjoying it just as a lighthearted, almost pseudo-comedy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm just whatever. At this point, I'm whatever with it. I'm still going to watch it, because I swear to God, Jay, I'll say it every podcast, if I have to wait till episode 9, if they do this to me, it's going to be problems. Don't make me wait till episode 9. Yeah. Do not. I might text you at 1 a.m. if I watch it at 1 a.m. Go, he was there! I saw him! So, but yeah. But, you got any homework on your list?
We watched a few things. We watched the Lost City with Sandra Bullock and... oh,
yeah. I told you guys you'd probably enjoy that one.
Yeah, it was okay.
Lighthearted enough, right? Yeah. Nothing great. Not definitely a decent Amazon Prime movie. Yeah. You wouldn't pay for it in the theater kind of thing. Yeah.
We watched American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story.
Kurt Warner movie. What do you think about it?
It wasn't great. I think what I enjoyed the most out of it was the nostalgia of seeing that Rams team.
Yep. I felt the same way. I thought, what's his name?
Zachary Levi.
Yeah, I thought he did fine.
He did okay.
I had no complaints. It was okay.
Yeah. We watched The Captive with Ryan Reynolds. I think
I've seen the basically the I want to call it the box. But I've seen the cover of it, whatever, plenty of times. How was that one?
It wasn't bad. It was really dark. It wasn't like your typical Ryan Reynolds movie. He's a parent who leaves his daughter in the car while he runs in a bakery real quick to get their dinner, and when he comes out, she's gone.
Oh, okay.
And it's one that's told out of order, so you get to see like what's happened since then over the years. Okay. And it's eventually about how she gets free from her captor.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
not his typical. He's Ryan Reynolds in every movie, but one a little bit different of a plot for him.
He was not Ryan Reynolds in this, and I think my kids were a little disappointed.
He wasn't very Ryan Reynolds-y. Yeah. Which did you ever see Voices?
No.
Check that if you want to see a decent Ryan Reynolds movie. He's a little Ryan Reynolds-y in that movie, but it's pretty good. Just check it out. It's called Voices.
Yeah. And then we finished Ready or Not, and the ending of that cracked me up.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed that one. That was pretty funny.
So we stopped watching it because there was a jump scare that really got Madeline, and she didn't want to watch it anymore. So we watched the end of it without her, and then we went back and we're like, you got to see the ending. You will crack up when all the people start exploding.
Yep.
She was dying.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then the last thing I got, I watched this a while ago and forgot to mention it. We Own the City. That is...
Bernthal?
Yes, by the guy that did The Wire. Okay. It's about corruption in the Baltimore police.
I'll like it then. If it's the guy that did The Wire, but it's got Bernthal on it, so I'll probably really like it.
It wasn't.
I think that was Hulu or Netflix.
It was HBO Max.
Oh, it's HBO Max. Okay, I'll check that one out. Is it worth watching?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't The Wire by any means. Okay. But I enjoyed it for what it was.
Okay. Was it a slow burn or was it pretty quick?
It was a slow burn, but it was only like 6 episodes, I think.
Oh, this is a show. It's not a movie.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
It's got Bernthal, so I'll check it out. Cool. All right. Anything else on your list?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Let me try to get through mine real quick. I revisited Terminator. Because Jen had never seen it. And she stood there and watched like a good 20 minutes. So she's like, I don't remember watching this ever as a kid. I was like, how did you have Channel 11 and not watch Terminator like 100 times? Yeah. So it's like, I don't remember that one. I was like, we revisited that one a little bit. Revisited Predator as well, just because I watched Prey recently. Yeah. Predator is just the epitome of amazing 80s action films. It's just so good. It's bad, but amazing. And the jokes they tell in it or 80s jokes that you could never get away with in our 2022 environment, where a lot of the group of people that has a lot of letters, they took a lot of letters out of the alphabet. They would not appreciate a lot of jokes. Oh man, Jesse the Body Ventura drops a joke where I'm just like, oh wow! It's so funny to rewatch stuff from back then and go, you will never get away with that now.
Oh yeah.
About that. I'll go Rogue One. Revisited Rogue One. Just because I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Have you revisited that at any point?
I've probably watched it a dozen times.
Okay, because that does not get enough credit for how great of a movie that is.
It's the best Disney era Star Wars movie.
I agree with you on that, and it made me. I can't wait for Andor. I think maybe that's why I watched it, because I had Andor on the mind.
Yeah.
And God, he was so good in that. He's so good. And what's her name? Felicity Jones is
Jen Erso. Yeah.
God. Great chemistry between those two, and just a great movie. Yeah. Great movie. Oh, what's his name? Who was the blind guy? Danny Leong, or it's something, right? Whatever his name. God, most enjoyable guy in the movie too. I love that guy.
He was so good.
Yeah, great movie. Just glad I revisited it recently.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Lightyear last time?
No, but I know it's on Disney Plus, and I need to sit down and watch it.
Not my favorite, Jay.
Yeah.
Wasn't that great. Chris Evans was great at his voice acting. I think he should do a lot more voice acting. But the story just wasn't captivating enough for me. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't want to sway you from not watching it, and I'd love for you to give your take on it, but just not my favorite, to be honest with you.
I know I'm going to go in with a low bar.
But the controversy about it that was surrounding it, a lot of it from the conservative side of things, this is my problem with both sides of politics, either the left or the right, whichever way anyone leans. One side that wants to pick on the other side or whatever, they make a big deal. They make mountains out of molehills.
Yep.
Absolutely overblown, completely overblown. It drives me nuts. I can't stand it. It's such not a thing in this movie. When you watch it, you go, what was all the controversy? This is stupid. But that's my biggest takeaway on that one. Let's see. Black Phone was a horror movie. You would hate it. It was not good. It was bad.
That's the Ethan Hawke one.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke. Not good at all, to be honest with you. I'll do this one real quick. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Did I talk about that one?
No, I don't think so, but...
Did you watch it?
No, not yet. I want to.
Watch it. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. This one makes up for the really bad girl one, which I still haven't seen that one, but I heard enough to not want to watch it. But enough nostalgia, but not overly done. And the two kids that are in it, the one that's from Stranger Things, they're very enjoyable in this one. They did a good job on it. Couple parts that make you they try to get the tear works going. They didn't get me crying, but they tried. They did their best. But it's just I don't know, just wasn't as connected to the characters enough to feel that way. But nostalgia overload at some points. Then the last two I do want to talk about a little more depth. One that I don't think you'd watch, but man, because I know for a fact you haven't done your homework and watched Hereditary yet.
Not yet.
You haven't watched that one yet. This falls in line with Hereditary, but not as good as Hereditary. It's a movie called X. Did you remember seeing commercials or previews for this movie at all?
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
Horror movie by Ty West, and this guy's done a couple horror movies. This is one of those where I needed to watch some. It was one where I had the DVD from the library, and we talked about it last time, I think, about remember how you missed on the DVDs, the behind-the-scenes stuff?
Yeah.
This one that made me go watch the behind-the-scenes stuff. It was interesting enough where I'm like, I need to know more about this kind of movie. All no names, I don't think, except for, I think there's all no names except for one guy that I think is in a show that Jen watches on Netflix. I was like, oh, that's a guy that she watches on, I think it's called Virgin River is what she watches. And the guy that's on that is in this movie. Totally not appropriate for kids at all.
Of course.
Too much sex in it for them. But there's a sequel coming out, or not even that, a prequel called Pearl that's coming out really soon. And she's a really interesting character in it. And some of the scenes make you go, ooh, that's kind of really gross. So if you watch it, I'll tell you, I'm curious what you think. I don't want to say it's good, but it's just one of those that you watch it going, curious about it. And then last but not least, and we'll end it on this one, is Stillwater. I don't know if you heard about that one.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Stillwater with Matt Damon. I recommend it. It was interesting. It was a good one. Lightly based on the Amanda Knox documentary. I don't know if you watched that. Did you ever watch that documentary?
No.
It's about a girl that went over to Europe and was accused of murder and fought her, and she kept, I'm innocent. Didn't do it. Eventually won her freedom. Documentary was really good. Just a lot of circumstantial evidence kind of stuff that kind of put her away. But just being an American in a foreign country where you don't speak the language that well.
Yeah.
Being a young girl by yourself. And then the aspect of this one is trying to be the dad of the girl that gets arrested. So there's a twist in there though. But I recommend it. It was good. It was I really enjoyed Damon's performance in it. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
And then I wanted to ask one question before we end it. Did you get a chance to watch Licorice Pizza?
I have not yet.
Okay, so I still want to leave that. I don't want that one to get lost by the wayside because I definitely want to get your opinion on that one.
Yeah, probably next week.
Okay, cool. Other than that, that's all I got as far as homework goes. A lot of reading as far as the Nightwing stuff. Watch that stuff. But we haven't gotten together. I think in a couple of weeks. So that's a couple of weeks of homework. Trying to go. Oh, forgot The Boys. I finished Boys season 3.
Okay, what'd you think?
Oh, it's so good. It got good again.
It did.
It got really good because Soldier Boy, did we talk about him?
No.
Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy is amazing.
He is.
I normally don't like that guy very much, but man, he's good in this. I like his performance in that a lot.
So let's back up though. What did you think of the first episode? Like the first 10 minutes of the first episode?
I'm trying to remember what happened.
Where they bust the party with the Ant-Man style superhero?
Yes. Yeah. That was so gross, but so hilarious at the same time. It's because Jay, did you watch the whole season?
Yeah.
The orgy.
Yes.
Even grosser.
Well, see.
Oh my God.
I felt that episode was a letdown because they had built it up so much coming into it. When it actually happened,
I didn't feel built up at all, but that's because I think I binged it, and it just because it was coming out that's a weekly show, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I was watching it as it came out, and they did a lot of promotional stuff for Herogasm.
Got you. Yeah, Herogasm was so funny.
Yeah,
that was so funny. I'm so on board. The guy that plays Homelander deserves an award of some kind. This
Anthony
guy's
Starr.
doing amazing work.
Yeah,
he's not going to get an award because the
content.
The content is too over the top.
Yeah.
He's doing an amazing job.
Oh, yes, he is.
Nobody could ever play that role except for him.
No.
He owns that role so well. Oh, so good. It got me back on board because I told you, man, I didn't really enjoy season 2 too much. But, man, season 3 was a home run.
Yeah.
A home run all the way because of over the top. I think they're remember how you always talk about, was it Legends of Tomorrow, where they finally found their rhythm and they've discovered what their show is?
Yes.
I think season 3 they found out what show they really are, and they're leaning heavy into it.
Yeah.
Really heavy into it. So I can't wait for season 4 to see how far they go on this one. But season 3, oh man, with Stormfront,
yes,
the reimaging of who she is and all that stuff, because I'd read about it. I forgot in the comic, Stormfront's a guy in the comic.
Yes.
And then the twist about Homelander and Soldier Boy. What a twist at the end.
I know.
What a twist. Oh, so, yeah, season 4 is going to be amazing. Maybe I'm hyping it up too much, but, yeah, definitely back on board. Glad I finished that one up, too. So, but other than that, that's all I got for you. And that's all I'm going to give our fans, because this is what they come to expect from an award. I can't stop laughing about it. From an award-winning podcast, this is what they tune in for every week, or every whenever we get together.
Yeah,
when we see fit, right?
That's going to be the title this week: an award-winning podcast.
Award-winning podcast. How can it not be, right?
Oh, of course.
So, of course. So, yeah, no, I got a little bit of homework to do. I'm going to try and get that Something's Killing Children, because if it's that good, I kind of want to jump on board on that one. So yeah, I'll try to get a hold of that. But until next time, I'll see you later. Okay?
See you. Thanks for listening. You can find us on our website, Nyrdcast.com. It's Nyrdcast. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching @Nyrdcast. This week's song is 1999 by North Carolina's Youth League.